It feels like we were live just about a minute ago here, but thank you for everyone joining us here at Cats and Rats After Dark. We've got a full panel ahead here alongside my host, Big C's, as always. But we have a new sponsor to share with everyone from our community from BeckSellsFLA.com, Jeremy Beckham. Hey, Panther fans in South Florida, need real estate help? Check out Jeremy Beckham with Next Home Treasure Coast. It's a boutique service with a personal touch. Jeremy and his team put humans over houses. Working hard for whether you're buying or selling. Ready to move? Hit up BeckSellsFLA.com or call 772-475-5371 now. You'll be glad you did. Again, that's at BeckSellsFLA.com. And we want to welcome Jeremy on to the Cats and Rats community. He's a huge Panther fan. He's also a Cincinnati Bengal fan. So we have a lot of those in the community, those Panther Bengal fans. So make sure to reach out to Jeremy if you're looking to buy or sell your home. And as always, our other sponsor, Canes Wear, make sure to visit them at Davie and check them out at Panthers Wear. Again, that's Panthers Wear, WEAR.com for all your Panthers needs. How's it going, Caesar?
Man, what a day. What a game today against Calgary. Really good game by the team. I think the team played overall really well. Got home.
The exciting part of the day, Caesar? Was that the exciting part?
No, I got home, got some dinner, was talking to a friend. I noticed that you guys went on live, and I was like, "Oh crap!"
Your group chat didn't let you know.
Am I late after dark?
Your group chat didn't let you know. They let you know.
When, they
Bob's
probably
not good in that, or Spencer Knight. Speaking of which, isn't
so
having a good night.
It was crazy because they actually did, but I was on the phone, so I couldn't check my notifications. And as soon as I found out you guys were on, I'm like, there's got to be something. And then I look at my phone. My phone's all blown up. Everybody's texting me. Spencer Knight's gone. I'm like, no.
I've been warning everyone, even today on our post-game show. None of you guys were there. My co-host Ryan was there. I don't know if he'll be by tonight. He's having a tough night here with his guy Spencer Knight now being moved out of Florida.
I called him.
We're going to go live. If anything happens, be ready to go. So Ryan heard it.
I called him. He was 9 shots in. And he said he wasn't feeling anything yet, so he may wake up on somebody else's couch.
Nothing will beat the initial reaction to him hearing Knight was involved.
And we brought Tuna up, a.k.a. Vince, up here so we can watch him ourselves. Because we don't have our moderator down there. How's it going?
Hello there.
Hello, Vince.
What's going on, Vince? And Vince will be with us here on Friday. Make sure you guys tune in. It's going to be one hell of a show. We've already got the party started with a couple of trades today, and we're going to go over them here in a bit. But yeah, Vince, welcome aboard.
Thanks for having me on, guys. It's good to be here. I'm looking forward to next Friday as well. But since we got the big stuff done today already, I didn't have time to get in my my fancy dress. I just had to throw on my Cup Champions hoodie. So I feel a little bit underdressed for the party.
Oh, sorry. Vince is here to break down that first round pick, right? Right, Nick?
Oh, yeah.
The
2027, 32nd overall pick.
How good would that be right now? So some kid who probably just finished driver's ed probably just learned he got traded to Chicago. So
and here's the best part, Vince. We added a 4th. So guess what? More prospect digging for you. Some random kid from Belarus or
something. You guys pay me more the more guys we pick. So I'm actually happy about that because you guys pay me more the more guys we pick. So
there we go.
We'll call you back.
More money in my bank account.
We'll call you back in a decade when we actually need to rebuild.
Practice makes perfect. Trust me, you're going to be glad that I had the practice now.
I was going to say
Nick's going to take a vacation, and then Vince is going to jump into.
Yeah, I'm going to make Kirby call me back in a couple years. All right, 3-4 years, probably.
Yeah, we'll keep your seat warm, Nick.
When we start our rebuild in 10 years, we're going to have the offseason off, and Vince is just going to be just neck deep into prospects.
If it wasn't for this trade,
I'll have it done in a week. I'll have it down to a science by then.
If it wasn't for this trade, I don't think Vince would have a job.
I feel a little bit disrespected.
What's that, Caesar?
I don't know. If we didn't have any of these trades, I don't think Vince would have a job with us, would he?
No, prospect.
He was getting so used. He was getting so excited. We're getting a first-round pick coming up in the next year or two. Nope.
Nah.
And based off the conditions,
I'll be honest.
I
honestly thought we had just given the 27. I didn't know we were doing the whole same thing Vegas did, where we're giving you this pick, but we could just decide to go give it to somebody else, and then we'll give you another one. Which I get that that's technically legal. It really shouldn't be legal, though. Like, that should
But
not be a thing
you
in the
know what?
CBA where
You
you
know
can go
what?
to a team and say, here's a draft pick, and then we're just going to straight up give it to somebody else, and then you just get a different one.
know-
I
I'm
don't
just gonna
think
say
that
this.
should be a rule.
I'm just going to say this: trading a first-round pick is a hell of a lot more fun than listening to who the hell the 29th overall pick is. So that's my opinion.
Very good point. Very good
So
point.
it's a lot more exciting this way.
I agree a lot with Jose. You better hope Bob doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Well,
Why is everyone worried
let's see
about
what
that
happens.
for you?
Let's see what
We
happens.
got no one behind him, Kirby. Like
He's a horse. You guys. I always talk about.
I
this,
mean,
how
if
horse
someone
is the goalie.
decides to
That's
pull
Bob.
in a Cody Eakin impression and run him over, then I don't know what you expect him to do about that. So
I mean, we
Listen,
all
season
saw what
wasn't
Bob
meant to
did
be.
last year in the playoffs. I still remember that game against Tampa Bay and that incredible save backhand. You know, just
True.
and Bob we trust. So I believe
it's
Zito
all we
did
got
the
now.
right thing.
We got
Yeah.
no damn choice.
it's that or
always hard
nothing,
on
and
him.
it's
But-
I get it. Trust me, I remember that too. Kind of hard for him to do that again if he gets injured. Just
Yeah.
saying.
But-
Well, Nick, at least he has a better decor behind him.
oh yeah, but
Right.
In
A
front
little-
of him,
a little bit
in
better.
front of him.
get Cooper
I
Black's
corrected
name
myself.
out of
Someone
my
is
face.
trying
Let's-
to trigger me by
Let's
putting that
hope it's
comment
not
up.
Cooper
Ugh.
Black. It's your boy.
Ugh.
We're
All
gonna.
three of us watched him
Ugh.
at Dev Camp, and all of us were like, "Yeah, that guy sucks," and just walked to the other side of the rink.
Get
So-
ready to learn Russian
we gave
because
him
that's
two-
going to be the future.
We gave him 2 minutes, and we're like, yeah, let's go over to the other side.
I thought him and Olaf Clifford looked about the same in terms of quality, and Clifford was like 4 or 5 years younger than him.
I'm just gonna say none of these guys are a part of our Love Goalie chat. So if you want to join us there, love
Yeah,
you.
because goalies make me mad. But for the
Goalies are
first-
weird.
But
Canadian
speaking of-
girls say so. So
speaking of anger here, there was a lot of outrage earlier this week with, I call it the Tkachuk brothers media tour this week. Matthew Tkachuk on the Jimmy Fallon show and the Tkachuk brothers on the New Heights sports podcast hosted by the Kelsey brothers.
Yeah. And I think we're going to go over that towards the second part of the show. But first, before we get into all of that, let's kind of go into this week. The Florida Panthers played the Edmonton Oilers on Thursday here. They ended up winning that game in a pretty good fashion. The Edmonton Oilers this last month have been pretty abysmal, right, guys? I'm gonna go ahead and pull up here the record the last 2 months.
And this was coming into tonight's game prior to the Carolina game here.
yeah, they're on a 5-game losing streak heading into tonight.
Yeah.
So
And guess what? They won. So so much.
so
But-
much for the
No,
streak, but
Cody,
you know.
you were talking about this off air. There's still a narrative here because we're gonna hear the Connor McDavid interview, and then like these numbers here, guys, that you're seeing from January to February. Big talking point for them, like now will be for the Florida Panthers, our goaltending and what's behind Bob. What does Edmonton have in front of them in their starting net right now with Stuart Skinner? And I thought you guys were pretty critical of them on the post-game show before the Edmonton Florida matchup. And then you watch that game and you're like, well, Skinner could have had that one. He could have had that one there. And McDavid's comments, I really like them, Caesar, that we're going to play here in a second, because he's pretty transparent about how he's not playing well coming off of this breakthrough.
But here's the thing about Stuart Skinner. I've said this before. I said 2 coaches last season got fired because their goalies couldn't make a save. Jay Woodcroft, former head coach of the Oilers, was one of them. The other one was Dean Evason out there in Minnesota.
Yep.
I mean, Skinner was like, let me pull up my trash can here, like this damn trash.
FSU trash?
Oh yeah, that's where the DJ NIL money went to. But it's just
whoa.
they produced all of those. But I mean, you can't really like. He goes on these stretches where he's like so good, or like, oh, no wonder why Edmonton has faith in him. And then you have other chances like, why did Edmonton still have faith in this guy? Because when they played us, that first period, he was good. He was good. Making saves, I thought like, oh man, we're gonna have a tough night here. And then the third period happens.
You don't know what you're going to get from him.
It's very like I think the word like, and I see like on Twitter, it's like whenever a puck goes like on net, like you almost hold your breath a bit if you're an Oilers fan, because again, the inconsistency. There's times like he just looks really good. And there was also a post the other day, a Twitter post, of his stance on the Schmidt goal and how he's like, somebody said he's 6'4", 230 pounds, and he's like, I don't even know, what stance would you call that again?
Hunched over?
Like he's
hunched over, stand up.
Yeah, stand up almost, right? It's like his position to make the save was terrible. It's like he covers almost nothing in the net, and he's a big guy, right? So it's like
and too much gets through him for being a big goalie too,
right? So
which is why I was surprised he played as well as he did last postseason. You know,
he just found a way, and I think Edmonton played very well in front of him.
Yeah, and I think they found a way, luckily, with their defense too, Cody.
Because
but remember that Dallas series, Dallas had them on the ropes a few times. They were in one of the games, I think they had like 40 plus shots on goal, and he just shut the door.
They were on the ropes with
but a lot of those Dallas shots were from the perimeter. Like,
right.
I remember watching those games, and like Dallas,
even for Skinner, I mean, that you usually see one or two go in. Like,
yeah, but Dallas just wasn't pushing the issue enough in that series. Like, they ran out of gas again. Like we said earlier, I think the Stars are another conference finals loss away from being the new age San Jose Sharks. Like they just can't. They couldn't push through. I just remember them just everything perimeter, like from the side, trying to beat them high top shelf. Like me and Kirby watched them play against Vegas in that overtime, and that overtime was some of the worst hockey me and him have watched. Like everything was kind of to the perimeter, and Dallas, like they really didn't challenge him. And then when he got to Florida, everything became east-west. Like, and he couldn't really stop it. Like he was getting to be top shelf by Evan Rodriguez. Like Barkov was beating him top, and then that's when they came back in the series, and he was making those saves. Like then you're like, oh Lord. But
and those ones that go through his glove or through the 6-hole, and you think he's in good position. It's from a non-threatening angle, right? Everything now is about high danger, and Vince, knows high danger, medium danger, low danger. It's probably allowing a lot of goals outside of those high danger slot area chances.
It's like is he the new Patrick Lalime? Is he the new that?
You could argue like that he might very well be.
Not a bad comparison there, Cody.
Makes the hard saves, can't make the easy ones.
Yeah. I've always said the only thing elite about Stuart Skinner is his mustache. Nothing else about him is elite.
He's in a commercial in Canada, Vince, with that mustache. I'm trying to think of what it is. It's a clothing or a shoe company.
Okay, I believe that he has been in a commercial, but I didn't see it when I was up there because they just kept showing that one Bell Media commercial with the woman in the art museum 15 times. Like, show different commercials up there.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Thank you. I
Western
appreciate
Canada
it.
commercial. Western Canada.
Yeah, see, that might have been what it is. I was in Ontario, so.
Yeah. But I see that we have the McDavid interview there. Do you have that?
Yeah.
Just wanted to play that for our audience there. Thought it was pretty compelling.
No, for sure. Let's kind of play it here real quick.
Make sure sound's going this week. It was all over.
How hard is it to come from where you were last week doing what you did and now coming back and trying to get this all going again? How difficult is that whole transition?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I've been feeling good out there. It's been tough to get going, which is obviously not an excuse. I got to find a way to get going here. So obviously big emotional week, exciting week last week, and back to reality pretty quick.
Emotionally, how hard is it to?
And I thought, like, you're not going to get a lot from McDavid all the time, Caesar. We're going to bring that down there, Caesar.
Yeah. And to combat what he's saying, I'll ask a question now to everybody. Can you guys name me a player that played in the Four Nations tournament that has come back and is still rolling? Because I can't.
That was rolling from the tournament? Sam Bennett, I'll throw out there.
I was going to say Sam Bennett.
Bennett's like the only one.
The only one?
Because Reinhardt isn't playing that well.
I don't know
he might
how
not be getting the points, but
I don't know how
Point's doing.
I don't know how Point's doing. I don't know how Point or Gensel or any of them are doing. I know Tampa's on a roll, but I don't know how they are individually.
Hagel's been okay.
It's your boy said Mikkola There you go.
There we go.
He didn't have a good game.
Low bar for the Finnish defense.
He didn't have a great game. Like, it wasn't this game, but the other night.
Your
Like,
boy,
I didn't.
still a #1 fan card carrying member. I thought I was up there, but your boy's there. So, and we have those McDavid stats there as well, Caesar. Again, this doesn't include the Carolina game. I think it's post Panthers game there. So I shared a tweet there if you do have it handy, Caesar, and it just kind of shows the numbers with McDavid. Our fans, a lot of times, Cody and Nick, they overrate the plus-minus factor and different things like that. But that tweet actually digs in a little bit deeper there.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the tweet here.
In the
bear with me.
Andy,
Yeah.
So.
But the only thing he added tonight was an apple. That was about it.
Yeah, I didn't catch the Edmonton Carolina game at all. Or catch any post game stuff on.
I was watching the Stadium Series, which was a really good game.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to do any of that.
That was a really good game. That lived up to the advertising. That was a fun one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know if we don't got anything else there on the Oilers, guys, but something to monitor with how Vegas has been playing here and kind of controlling that Pacific Division. I thought coming into this year, we thought maybe Edmonton would be doing that because of how kind of they finished off last year.
Real quick, before we kind of get into that, since we were talking about McDavid, we kind of want to, I want to get you guys' input here. You sent me this earlier today, and I kind of saw this on X here.
Oh, God.
I'm surprised they didn't do that sooner.
Right?
And you can get the small fries for 97 cents Canadian.
Ice cream machine's still broken, though.
They got the stack wraps up there, so that's the only reason to go to McDonald's in Canada.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Cody's favorite. So, but yeah,
They're
if you don't have that tweet there,
they're coming back this year, baby.
But yeah, I mean, he played really well. He's enjoying the moment. But it was pretty funny because when they were playing Florida, I think there was a tweet there where we saw a Florida Panther fan had a sign and it said, "Do you have one of these, McDavid?" I thought that was pretty funny.
And with the replica ring.
But
it
then
me and Nick talk about this sometimes. It brings kind of too much negative attention to us, Nick. Like, the whole thing, we're gonna sweep Toronto. We're gonna do this.
And I think just talking on a more serious note, I think it kind of pisses me off a little because, my gosh, if we lose this, oh my gosh, we're never going to hear the end of it, right? Like,
it was like the Winnipeg thing earlier this season when we're chanting overrated, and we get pounded.
We're playing in the next game.
I know.
Fans just don't have that overall conscience level, and then the guy gets made fun of because they said that was a season ticket ring. I'm pretty sure that fan, I will be pretty confident saying this, it wasn't the season ticket holder ring. It's one of the ones you buy online that a lot of fans did. And then you have, only 6 fans and all that. And it turns into that whole thing.
Only 6 fans? You want to hear something funny? That Nashville game was the loudest road crowd I have heard from the Panthers in my life.
Cody, you weren't up here in Calgary. There's 200.
They didn't score, bro.
But there was 200, 300, 400 fans up
here. But go back and watch the highlights of the Nashville goal, namely the Samoskevich goal. You could actually hear a pretty good roar when they score.
Well, Muscle, a guy that Caesar had on his podcast, Muscle Man, he was there with a lot of fans from the Florida area.
He was.
So
did he talk about his mom a lot?
So
yeah, I know. I thought I was going to be the only one to make a regular show.
A couple people in that thing were in my whole section.
Yes,
like a whole group chat and everything. They were there. They were sending pictures. I wish I could have gone. I wasn't able to, but they were telling me very nice ring. But the amount of people there, and so a couple people in my section also went to Finland. They're telling me they have an old group chat. I met a couple of them. They seem like the people from that Finland trip are really close now. They text with each other. They see each other at the rink. It just kind of magnifies the whole experience. So it's really cool, to see stuff like that. And, I remember we've all been fans of this team for a decent amount of time. Some people longer than others. And for the people who think I'm 55, not as long as you might think, but no, it's just really cool because it's you would see all these other fans. I remember going to Toronto. I'm not saying it's Toronto level, but I remember seeing all these other teams come in and all their fans would be cheering. What the hell? So it's cool to see that, right? Like, especially just the whole thing. It kind of seems like the last year or two, it's like been an unbelievable dream, like almost like to see what's become, right? So it's really cool to see. And yeah, what Cody said, I don't remember hearing a crowd that loud for a road team. And like, I was like, oh my gosh, and you should have seen the rats, like 35, 40 rats on the ice. So it was really cool.
And it's crazy because I was actually speaking
Destination.
to Muscle Fan today, and he was like, I couldn't believe how many Panther fans were here. Like before the game even started, the restaurants that they were in was packed with fans pre-gaming. So it's really cool to see that our fan base is growing, especially after the Stanley Cup here. And like you guys said, we have that group that goes to Finland. So that's pretty cool to see as well. And what I thought was really cool too today, it's the first time we saw it, is the Panthers actually had their kids on the ice today. So, just being able to have your family members with you, going to the games and stuff like that. So that's
they did Kids Day like they did last year against Calgary. I think it was in the afternoon as well.
yeah. So that was pretty cool. So getting the community involved, that goes to show you how great this organization is and how well knit we are as a community too. We have these group chats and we kind of gather around and plan stuff together. And Panther fans are starting to travel well. You see them in every away game. You're starting to notice a lot more Panther jerseys when you watch the games on TV too. So that's really awesome to see.
Yeah, but
We have some stuff in the chat there. Let's want to segue to all the great talk.
This is a pretty good question. Do we see Jones Monday? I think we do.
Yeah, and we'll lead more into the Seth Jones trade here in our second segment. But yeah, I think he'll probably play for sure.
And if I could just mention one thing on the Seth Jones cap front, I know we're going to cover this later. A note, Vince mentioned it off air. Bjorn Fought is not on the roster, so we
ain't got a choice.
We do not have enough money
Cody's
to bring
always
up.
yelling at me, Nick, that we don't have any cap money. He's putting guys on the cap that aren't even on it.
Well, I'm just going to say this: we don't have the money to bring up anybody, Drieger, anybody. So I don't know what the hell the plan is.
Get rid of Belinkus. Move him down.
This is why I sent the Puckpedia link earlier, just in case we needed it. So.
Hey, listen. I apologize for assuming we would carry 7 defensemen. It's not like it's the most normal fucking thing that NHL teams do, eh?
Paul Maurice likes to play with 5 and staple Josh Mahura to the bench.
He's in Seattle. He deserves nothing.
And let's keep him there.
Like, even with Mahura, we kept 7 on the damn bench.
Oh, Cody's wrecking the stream. I'm cracking up.
Cody's crashing out. Crashing out.
Like, did I lie about
it? Was in here.
No, you didn't lie, but apologies to any young kids in chat who just got an advanced education in the English language.
Wait, did Montour just score? No, he didn't.
People are trying to use us this time of night, Cody. They're trying to use us for white noise. Not all that yelling.
So let's go into our next topic here, guys. Adam Fox is on the injured reserve here after coming from the Four Nations tournament.
You don't need the sound up for this here, Caesar.
I don't have it, so don't worry. We're just going to play a little bit, like 20, 25 seconds here of the play. What moves should the Rangers make after the Adam Fox deal? And we did have an earlier trade here, which I'll pull up here in a second. But it looks like Adam Fox is out for the season. Doesn't look good.
The season?
Is he out for the season, guys? I don't know.
He's just on IR right now.
Yeah, I didn't hear out for season. I heard on injured reserve.
Okay. Thanks for correcting me on that, guys.
You can close that down now. That's just
yeah. What do you guys think of the Rangers now? What kind of other moves do you think they should make? Let me pull up the trade here that they made today earlier as well. Kind of break that down.
And Cody, I like this because of the retention, and that's what we were talking about before this whole Seth Jones deal happened. I'm like,
are they buyers now? Or are they sellers?
I think they should be sellers. Everything I read makes it seem like they want to buy. or like they're in on certain pieces. I think what they're doing now is sort of like a retool, but I don't think what they're doing, like, again, they were in on JT. They got JT Miller. I keep seeing a bunch of chatter. Oh, who's some defensemen they're going to get? I wouldn't waste any assets on adding to this team. And I know they're right there, but Adam Fox is out. Now you got rid of Ryan Lindgren. The season
And I
is
was going to
gone.
say, I was going to give you credit. You
Right.
did say Jimmy Vesey was going to be traded, and he
Well-
ended up being traded.
Who the hell is Hank Kemp?
Who the hell knows?
College defenseman. I think he plays for Cornell.
But anyway, I wouldn't buy anymore. I would sell some of these pieces. They got a real problem on their hands, the Rangers. I mean, they are allocating a lot of money and a lot of
I was going to say,
questionable
what
places.
is their dead money right now? What is their cap space situation there?
And I'm talking
Vince?
about more long term.
Stand by on that.
Vince here for that.
But I
Yeah, just because I was listening to last year's podcast. I forgot who it was. It was a Rangers
The
podcast.
Rangers have
they knew they were in
14
trouble
million
this
cap
year.
space.
Okay, it's in the
15
private
million.
chat.
They
Yeah.
knew they were in trouble this year, Caesar, on the ice or with the
With the cap, not
Okay,
on both
okay. Wanna
on
be
the
clear on
ice
that.
and
no
the
one
cap.
had them dropping off from what I
They have 14 million in cap right now.
Last
Like-
year was supposed to be their all-in year. That's
Yeah.
kind of why they
And
made a lot of the moves
I
that they did.
disagree with Nick on not adding anything because you're really close to the playoffs. And here's the thing: you want to see why they need to add Caesar. If you don't mind me sharing my screen here, look at this defense.
Oh dear Lord above.
I mean,
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
Lord, gotta whip out the trash can again. I mean, good Lord, this is garbage.
I mean, remember, Will Borgen was somebody that we were talking about as a possible addition for Florida on the third pair, and Daily Faceoff has him listed as one of their top two guys. Keandre Miller, Rangers fans have been trying to run him out of town for the last 2 years. Schneider, he's kind of a big ball of nothing. Zach
probably
Jones,
the
big ball of
best
nothing.
defenseman on that list.
Yeah, if Schneider's the best guy. Good for him, bad for the team. Vakanainen, Cody
He's
get the
been
trash
okay
can out
since
again.
he's been over there. He's been okay.
Yeah, he's a bottom pairing guy. And then
Dahan is
Calvin
washed.
Dahan's not a bad bottom pairing guy, but you can't play him above a bottom pair at this point. Like,
Why does
In
Dahan move around so much? Like, people want him, but he also
Because he's washed, my guy. Washed.
because he really can only play bottom pair at this point.
everyone wants
But
him
he
to.
comes cheap, so it's kind of, hey, we can just throw him third pair and it'll be fine. Although I will say this, getting rid of Ryan Lindgren is a huge plus for the Rangers. He has been awful the past few years.
Yeah.
That's
I just
addition by
personally
subtraction
think
to
You
get
guys
rid of him.
wanted Ryan Lindgren when we started these spaces post.
Oh, he wanted him a few years ago. He wasn't bad a few years
yeah,
ago,
because
but
he was good.
he completely melted down and ground into dust. So it's like, what do you expect him to do? What expect us to want at that point?
what
You know,
do you think?
he wasn't good anymore?
Caesar,
Like
pull up the
style?
trade again.
Type of injuries he's dealing with? What kind of what kind of happened there?
Playing style, and he's not good at moving the puck, and everyone kind of figured out he's not good at moving the puck.
And he's the type of guy that plays through everything. Like he is a warrior. Do not get us wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like in terms of that, but Colorado, I wonder what they're doing here.
I actually really like the trade for Colorado, and I'm going to tell you why right now.
If it's what Jimmy Vesey?
No.
No,
Ryan-
Nick's gonna hype up Hank Kemp here.
Oh yeah. I don't think you give up too much. Personally, Colorado's going for a Stanley Cup. If you take a look at obviously their team, I really like their top six. I think their top six. I watched their game last night against Minnesota. They looked really, really good. Blackwood is outstanding, and I already like their top four. Obviously, Taves, McCarr, Manson, Gerard. The bottom pair and the bottom six needs work. Needed work for a long time in Colorado. They got the second line center situation resolved last year, but this year it's been a bottom six issue, right? Well, yesterday, I think the third line, and forgive me, I'll take a look right now. I forget the player who was on the third line. It was Jack Drury, number one. Number two, it was, let me just check right here real quick. It was Jack Drury, I think O'Connor.
Are you talking about the third line?
Yeah, O'Connor.
It's Jack Drury, Ross Colton, Joel Kivier.
Ross Colton, okay. And I think Logan O'Connor's currently on the fourth line, or is he in the top six?
He's currently on the fourth line with Parker Kelly and Your old friend Miles Wood.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to say this. I like O'Connor too. I think they could move him up to a third line role. But here's the thing. I think what this move does for Colorado is it gives them a legit NHL defenseman on the bottom pair to go with Shillington, who's been playing pretty well actually for them. So I really like their top four. I think you get a legit bottom pair guy to play on the bottom pair. He has not played well. Same thing with Seth Jones. Like, okay, you're playing him on a bottom pair on an excellent team now. I like their top six. The top four is good. I think Lindgren and VC add to those depth roles that they were using on DeHaan, that they were using on some other guys. Malinsky's another guy that they've been using on the back end. You take a look, Parker Kelly, Yoel Kiviranta. Those are not guys like Vince. We went to the Colorado last year, and you were Andrew Cogliano and all these guys. They don't scare me. Well, neither does Parker Kelly.
Their depth last year was not in any way up to snuff. It was clear they were a two-line team.
Yeah,
and I think, and I'm going to be honest, I would think you'd say the same thing about Parker Kelly or Yoel Kiviranta, really, and up higher.
Well, you guys always got on their depth last year. Hirschman Nikushian leaves for the player system.
Well, that plays a role in it.
Yeah, that
right?
didn't help, obviously, but that was part of the problem.
That was part of the problem.
Nichu's going to do all this.
I think it just adds
for the Michael Irvin incident. Kirby, you know
I think it adds depth to needed areas, and they don't give up too much. I think you add a quality depth forward in Jimmy Vesey. I think you add a guy in Ryan Lindgren who has been good before, and I think could play good minutes in a bottom pair role, especially for Colorado. I think they need a little bit more, maybe like a middle six forward. But I do think that this potentially could be the most complete their lineup has been in a while. And Marty Necas has looked terrific there. And Jonathan Drouin. I know, Kirby, you don't like him, but he has been an excellent fit with Colorado.
But he's had a career renaissance with Colorado. Like the Jonathan Drouin you're seeing with Colorado, especially this year, this is the Drouin that was kind of expected of him coming out of Halifax, coming out of juniors.
He's playing with
I think it was Halifax. Was it Halifax?
Yeah, because they played with
he and McKinnon were teammates. I know. I was just wanting to make sure I had the right QMJ.
It was
How much other situations is he going to work out in?
But the thing is just with Colorado is just, is Landeskog going to come back?
That's the big question.
Like,
$1 million question there.
Yeah, because if Landeskog comes back, then you're cooking with we're cooking with grease now. Because I think Mackenzie Black was a really good goaltender.
He was. And literally the game that he played against Florida, that's the night before he gets traded.
Oh yeah, against San Jose. Yep.
Yeah.
He always killed us for some reason. I just remember always being like 50,000 shots and we scored 2 goals. like I don't know, but with Colorado, but the only thing with the trade is, at least with Seth Jones, you could have the caveat that his team was horrible. Lindgren was on a good team and was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to be playing top pair with them. I think he's going to be on a bottom pair.
Was he even playing top pair at this point? I could have sworn they were throwing him about
second
pair.
They were
throwing him about second pair for most of this season.
But again,
they tried him everywhere, anywhere,
and nothing worked. That's the thing.
Yeah, but
here's the thing for the Rangers that honestly makes me kind of like the deal for them. Parsonen, decent depth forward. You can throw him in a lineup and see what you have in him. DeHaan gives you some veteran stability back there. And the draft picks, if you are going to try and make some moves at this deadline, which I think Chris Drury's going to do because I feel like he has to. If he tries to pack it in, he's going to get fired. Dolan's not going to accept that.
Right.
Those draft picks, you could use them and go out and try and get something that can help you. So, to me, I look at this, I feel like New York has some more cards to play with. They get rid of Lindgren, who everybody knew they wanted to get rid of. VC's a fourth-line forward. So, to me, I'm like, if I'm the Rangers, I'm pretty happy with this deal.
What do you see? What kind of deal do you see them making next? What do they need?
Defenseman.
If Fox is out, I agree with Cody. If Fox is out for a while, they need some help on defense.
So now that Seth Jones is out of their mix, maybe a Carlson?
No, absolutely not.
I don't think Erik Karlsson would be the guy. I think
they would go for more cheaper, like
a Henry Jokiharju.
A Jokiharju, I think could absolutely.
They got enough big money.
I think Ferraro could be a real option for them.
Ferraro would be another one.
I think there's a couple other options. Again, there are players out there that we don't even know about. Like, look at tonight. What the? where the hell did that come from, right? So it's
Maybe
like
somebody from the Western Conference.
Western Conference. There's a lot of teams out there that could be looking to move the
Adam Larson, maybe.
That's a good one.
That's a name
If
that's been
Seattle wanted
mentioned.
to move Jamie Alexiak, maybe that
I
could be an
think they
option.
do. I think they do.
Poor Montour is going to lose his defense partner.
Well, if Alexei
Where's
said-
Mark Stahl when you need him?
Do we want to
Right?
get into that other trade very briefly here?
Yeah.
or-
The other trade that happened today was with the Minnesota Wild Nashville Predators. Gustav Nyquist going to the Wild with 50% of his salary retained in exchange for a 26 second round pick.
I love how the top comment on this post is just at
Is-
Travis L 144.97. Just is this
It's
good?
good.
Well, I'll
Oh,
say
just a good
this.
deal.
Like
Hold on.
so many times, like you see two types of comments, like meme comments under trades that don't look like particular like ground changing moves. You'll see either blockbuster and all caps, especially on minor league deals, and the is this good? So I'm glad we got some representation.
I
from
don't
the
have a
meme
lot to add
comments.
here. Just a good deal for both teams. Nyquist, as an addition and a second round pick is good value for a guy like that.
I think,
Very good deal for Nashville. You get a second round pick for a guy who put up 21 points this year. Like,
and I think a change of scenery for Nyquist. Obviously, he got bumped down off of power play 1 with the additions, Marchessault and Stamkos coming in. It has been a complete and total disaster, and that's put
Yeah,
out
just
All
Kenny
that the
right
other
now.
night.
Thoughts on
That's-
the power play, Nick?
on the
On
Nashville
all
power
power-
play. Well, they
Canadian
have the
media gets a W on
they
that.
have the power play guru Andrew Brunette.
Oh,
back
I know.
there.
He should have figured that
So,
out.
so right.
a la Mike Myers, the love guru, I guess.
Uh,
If Mike Myers is the love guru, then Burnett's the power play
But I'll
guru.
just say
Is
this:
that-
I
is
know
that where we're going.
there were teams involved on Nyquist. Columbus, I read earlier, was looking at him for an option. I think that actually would have been a really good fit. I like Nyquist to Minnesota. I think it's a solid pickup. I don't know if it's the best fit or how much it really helps them, because it really all depends on when Kaprizov comes back. I think Nyquist, when you take a look at like these types of forwards going to mid-forward cores, such as Minnesota's, and I know they got some talent there with Rossi and Zuccarello and stuff like that. I just think that, it's not the best thing. It's not terrible, though. I'd give it like a B-. I like the fit in Columbus a lot better for Nyquist than I do for Minnesota, but you need some extra depth, especially with Kaprizov out, and I think it could be a solid pickup for them down the stretch.
And I think Kirby and I were talking last week too that we thought maybe the Columbus Blue Jackets would be the ones making moves here, especially since they're fighting for that playoff spot.
Well, they just won 2 big games against Detroit, and this is very reminiscent. Detroit, they lost those 2 games to Ottawa a couple years ago. Very, very close to the trade deadline, Kirby. We brought that up, and that's when they decided to sell. Take a look at some of these other teams like the Rangers and some other guys. Is this the time where, hey, the Rangers going to make a move, and if Detroit keeps slipping, well, what happens there, right? So Columbus, I think, has really kind of differentiated themselves, though.
I mean, I think Detroit is still in a playoff spot right now. Let me check.
Yeah,
that.
they are.
They
So
are.
They're holding on to it.
I don't think this is going to completely change Detroit's plan. I do think they're going to probably look to buy.
How much, though?
Soft
It's
buy.
like
I think it's a soft buy.
Soft buy, but I do think they're still buying.
We'll
I
see.
just
If
I
that
don't
were the
think-
case,
I don't
then
think
no-
these games against Columbus really change their opinion,
See, I
especially
think-
because you have to keep this in mind for Detroit. Steve Yzerman, this is his 6th year. This is his 6th year in charge over there, and they haven't made the playoffs in any of them. They've barely been close. They were only close last year.
He won 2 Stanley Cups with Tampa Bay.
No, he didn't. They were
No, he made the
won those
finals,
cups
but
without
then-
him.
The
Yeah,
finals?
Brisebois was
Okay.
in charge of Tampa when they won those.
But
cups.
I just think,
Gotcha.
But Yzerman knows that it's getting antsy over there. They don't want to continue to be mediocre. They want to be back in the playoffs.
well,
It's been
these are
10
like,
years for them. It's been about
but-
they haven't made the playoffs since 15-16.
But they
Detroit
gotta-
knows that they want to make it this year.
but they
want to
gotta
get the
win.
schneid
They
off.
gotta win these games, like these Columbus.
Oh
games.
no, I
They-
agree, but they're
and
not
I
going to
think-
all of a sudden say, "Oh, we lost 2 games to
Well,
Columbus."
I
Back and then
think.
we'll wait
Well,
for
I
next
think.
year.
I think. if you
Yzerman's
don't-
not waiting for next year.
Well, I think it makes it a lot difficult. They got a very tough schedule coming up, and they just failed the early part of it.
Yeah,
And
true.
So, but I will say this, and I think you agree with me. I've always said, if I waited 4, 5, 6 years for a rebuild, and this was supposed to be the year I'm contending, and these are the years you're supposed to be contending, and the rebuild's done, and this is the defense core you put together, this is the result, I'm firing the GM. It is unacceptable. There you go, the FSU trash can. Thank you, Cody.
Yeah, Ben Sherratt and Justin Hall. That's all I need to say.
And Jet Petrie, I'm like, what the hell is that?
And here's the funniest thing: they traded Jake Wallman.
I never understood the Wallman trade. Like the only positive that Detroit has had on the back end this year, other than Moritz Seider continuing to be Moritz Seider, is the fact that Simon Edvinsson has emerged to be kind of good. So it's like, okay, you have Seider and Edvinsson.
Tell you that, Vince.
You have two. I always thought they should have played him last year. I never understood why they were.
I try to tell everyone
slow
that.
Playing him. But okay, so you have two good young players in Seider and Edvinsson, and then the rest of it is bad contracts and bad players.
Well, you got to start to get rid of some of those guys and filter them out, and they don't.
And then they got rid of Wallman and Oli Mata, which is like those. Yeah. If you were talking about cleaning out the Detroit defense, I wouldn't have started with Wallman and Mata. Mata kind of made sense, but Wallman didn't.
But back to the Nyquist thing. This is his second stint in Minnesota.
Oh wow.
So he got traded there before. Like he actually got traded from Columbus to Minnesota. And let's not forget, Nyquist had a 75-point season, not the last season.
Yeah, we're not that far removed.
I mean, everyone in Nashville had career years last year. If you look at
the opposite.
Exactly. Like that's the thing. Like they were kind of due for a regression, which I'll admit myself and a bunch of others probably should have spotted earlier.
But their regression was off a cliff, not like
this was more than just falling back to the mean. This was falling off the edge of the cliff.
But I think Nyquist is going to be pretty well in Minnesota.
I actually like the fit there. I don't think it's a bad pickup. It's just it's Nashville gets a second for a guy who's been wildly underperforming.
Yeah, but I think
so
again,
it's a good move for Trotz.
I think there's limited.
That second's more like a third-round pick, depending on where Minnesota finishes.
It might be more of a second because I don't see Minnesota more of as like a cup contender.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's an all right fit, but I just think like you add a guy like Nyquist, not a game breaker in any sense, to a forward.
I don't think Minnesota needs a game breaker though.
No, but I'm just saying, like, how much is it?
They need that. Cody was really high on them coming in, but I was like, they need more to my eye.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
it's a little bit extra, and you also have to keep in mind that I think this is the last year of those Parise and Suter buyouts being almost $15 million. Yeah. They do still have that kind of around their necks this year. Yeah, for me, it's always about, okay, once the shackles are off, we've seen how well Billy Guerin has done and able to get Minnesota to just manage through this situation and remain competent. How good is Minnesota going to be when they get a bunch of money off of their dead cap space and they get some of these young guys that they've been able to draft and develop well? When those guys hit the system,
but Vince, it's not about the regular season with Minnesota at this point. Even with the Mulligan.
I was going to say,
no, it's always about the playoffs.
It's always about the playoffs.
This season for them was about the regular season. This year was for it.
Yeah, because remember last year they
missed the playoffs the year before.
Yeah,
but I think
they were terrible last year.
The playoffs to do something.
No,
I'm kind of with Kirby on this because they're always on the cusp of what are they going to do? What are they going to do? And then the playoffs, they underperform every year.
I disagree.
You disagree with that?
What?
When's the last time they've done anything? You can't go back to when they played John Sebastian Jaguar, Cody.
No, but the thing is, Guerin has had his hands tied this entire time. This isn't like Yzerman where he's had a rebuild. He's had cap space.
Yeah, but when you overachieve in the regular season and always underachieve in the playoffs, you have to constitute some of that.
But they've had $15 million wrapped up where they can't really get a guy to help.
That excuse if you make the playoffs.
What excuse? $15 million.
No, not when you perform.
That's a Bob and an Erod.
Could have said used to be Knight.
Like,
oh God!
I think it's a little bit too early, too soon.
Also, I want to point out. So, $15 million. That's 1.5 Barkovs.
By the way, sorry, Ryan. I apologize.
Ryan's right.
It's 1.5 Barkovs. That's how much Minnesota is out in terms of dead cap right now.
As hard as you guys are on Ottawa, that's like me for Minnesota.
But Ottawa has cap space.
No, I need performance. I need to see it.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
I'm
you're
kinda
gonna
with
go
Kirby on
so
this.
you're gonna go with the team who has underperformed year after year after year, hasn't even made the damn playoffs, versus
What
the
are we
team that
doing with
actually
the
does.
$10 million goalie, Cody? We're doing something.
Oh, you want to know what
There's
Ottawa's
a
doing
difference
with-
between a
Hey.
$10 million goalie and
No, everyone
$15
said
million
it was
and
the-
two
hey,
guys that
hey,
aren't playing
you
for
wanna-
you, though.
you wanna-
Somebody I know said it. He was a thief.
Hey,
He was a thief.
hey, you
There's
wanna
a
know
huge
something?
I
okay,
know.
Kirby. The $10 million goalie actually plays for us. though.
Not sometimes according to the fan base.
Ryan Suter and Zach Parisi are not playing for Minnesota, and they're making
To be
$15
fair,
million
$10 million
for
goalie.
Minnesota.
That
So
is
the
true.
Minnesota
Hey,
Wild
hey,
salary
hey,
cap.
hey,
Kirby,
There is
hey,
a
Alex
huge
Lyon, remember him?
difference.
To be
Remember
fair,
Yeah, I remember Alex Lyon.
to be
A
fair,
future starting goalie, right, Nick?
Hey,
Well,
Kirby, and
Oh,
you want to know? And you wanna
I
know-
never bought into that once, Kirby.
I'm just
Don't you put
I
that
don't
on me,
use your
Kirby
name, Vince.
Loophole.
I didn't
Don't you
use your
put
name.
that
You
on
always
me.
think I'm using your name. You always think I'm using your name.
I'm just
I
going to
know,
say
but
this.
don't you put that on me.
To be fair,
He thinks everything's
Hold
on
on,
him. That's
hold
what
on.
he's like on
Yeah.
his
To
face.
be
Because
fair,
Kirby likes to razz on me. So
to
You
be
think I'm
fair,
tall? I'm not.
let me just say this. To be fair, there was a time where having Zach Parise and Ryan Suter out of the lineup was probably the same thing as Sergei Bobrovsky in net.
Yeah.
There was a time.
that
But-
was called
So-
2019-20.
Hey, Kirby, you want to talk about $15 million? You want to know what Ottawa's paying fucking $8 million for?
Oh, God.
You want to see what they're paying $8 million for?
You're talking that guy up the middle of the ice?
For this shit! For this! Are you kidding me? They're paying $8 million
That's two
for
on
that.
times when Cody's mic cuts out
$8 million for that. Guess what?
for Josh Norris. Good lord.
I don't like him.
But here's the thing: you're saying $15.
Show my guy Shane Pinto on the screen.
Oh, you want Pinto? Okay, bet.
Here he
Okay,
goes.
okay. All right, bet.
The league screwed him over.
You
That
shouldn't
set him
bet.
back.
Not this season. He doesn't have that.
Cody
excuse
doesn't
this
want to
year.
have him on Team USA for anything, even World Championships.
Why in the blue
I mean, Kirby,
hell
Cody's
I
on
would have.
this-
I would have taken Tage Thompson to.
would I want
Four Nations
this
over
for
Shane
Team
Pinto.
USA? Why would I want that?
He's an
Okay,
X-
okay.
Why
I'm
would
just
I
gonna
want
go ahead
that?
and say this: we should not listen to Kirby's opinions on who should play for Team
Why
USA
the hell
because
would I
he is
want that?
Canadian. So,
Oh, really?
Like-
Huh? Really? Really?
Can he win any?
Kirby,
I mean,
you're
Vince, you're opening up a bottle of worms here,
Kirby,
man.
I'm
Stop
just
it.
saying.
This is the first time we've had Vince on air. I thought it was going to be on Spaces. Can you congratulate Canada, please? You have not
Congratulations to
congratulated us.
Canada on winning the Four Nations face-off.
but
There
why?
you go,
But
you're in
why
Team
the
Canada.
hell would I want this on Team USA? What?
But-
Why?
Okay, Kirby, you got what you wanted. I'm just
It's
saying,
like-
I'm not taking your
You
opinion
know
on
what?
who should
It
be on
might
Team
be
USA
hold on,
because
hold
I
on.
do feel like
Okay,
you would
then.
actively
Hold
try
on.
and
Give your
sabotage
opinion on
us.
the Canada goalies then.
Hold on a
anymore.
minute.
Okay,
might-
fine, that's fair.
It might be better than Chris fucking Kreider, Cody.
Hey,
It might
Low
be
bar.
better than
Bars on
Chris
the floor on
Kreider.
that
hey,
one.
you want to know something funny? How many goals did Kyle Connor score?
Well,
Oh, yeah,
Kyle
he wasn't
How
Connor-
many goals did Chris Kreider score? One.
Cody's not
that
going
was
Cole
the
Caulfield
most
would have been better than-
meaningless game
Cole
in the
Caulfield might have been better
tournament.
than both.
That was the most meaningless game in the tournament.
But who scored and who did it?
The most
All
meaningless
right,
goal.
gentlemen.
Who scored and who
Whatever.
did it?
Whatever.
I think
Go
it's
to-
time
go
to
to
pay
break.
some bills
Go to
here.
break.
Guys, pay
Panthers fever is here. Are you geared up? Caneswear in Davie is the place for all your Florida Panthers needs. They have the latest gear for our favorite NHL team. Jerseys, polos, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. Caneswear has you covered. Stop by their store in Davie or at pantherswear.com. Again, that's pantherswear, WEAR.com for all your Panthers gear.
And we're back, gentlemen. Oh my God.
keep
What
in
a
mind
great-
you have an alum of the University of Miami on the call
This
right
is
here.
freaking
Class of
amazing. I fucking love
2023.
it.
Hey,
I love
right.
it. I love it.
representing.
I had to go grab the best drink in the
No,
world.
Kirby,
Coke Zero.
Kirby. All fingers. Do it right. Do it right. All four.
You're not a DC
There we
fan,
go.
Cody?
There we go,
I'm
Kirby.
sorry. I'm
There we
sorry
go,
on this
Kirby.
one.
Hey,
What do you
hey,
What do you do? We split
chop
it in
it up,
half.
baby. Let's
We
go
split it in
Knowles.
half.
Let's go Knowles. Let's go Knowles.
Get out of here, you guys. That's why I got Vince here. Representing.
Hey, hey, it's baseball season now.
Although I will legit.
Are we
about
bringing baseball
Caneswear.
Ryan
Caneswear's
back?
awesome.
So,
Love Caneswear.
So the news everybody's been waiting for. We're gonna talk about it a little bit
what?
here, real
We got
quick.
Seth Jones? We got Seth Jones?
I think we
I
did.
think it looks like we did.
Who was that?
Next, you're going to tell me that you're able to watch movies on your phone.
Hold
Unbelievable.
on, guys. Hold on. We got to get a promo in here. Make sure to check out our Seth Jones breaking news to Florida. YouTube live stream. Big
Yep.
numbers on that.
Yeah.
First
Thank
one's to
you.
break it, weren't we?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, good job, guys.
Great job, Cody and Kirby over there. Nick and I hopped on a little bit afterwards,
I was
but
at a Walgreens when that shit happened. Cody called me.
I had just finished dropping off a DoorDash order. I had to cut it short to go home just to like
Well,
compose
Vince thought he
myself
wanted
and
to
see everything.
be on for that live stream. I'm like, relax.
think-
Vince, I was yelling at
I
him.
think Kirby was
Yeah, I
saying he
thought you guys wanted me on for that one too. I was like, so are we still doing this? Like,
I'm like, no, after dark.
All right.
yeah,
Anyway,
I got a text from Vince there, like, are we doing Seth Jones? I'm like, I have no idea what's going on right now.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing: if they had waited to do this tomorrow, it wouldn't have been a problem because I would have been like, all right, so I'd just go on in the evening and do whatever. But now it's okay. Wait, so is this going to be the after dark show? Or are we still going to do the main one? Or it's like, it just threw everything off.
It
So
You
was
don't like to do those
crazy.
deals.
But yeah, so kind of break down. Let's go ahead and break down what the trade was here. Elliot Friedman broke the news, I think, and the Florida Panthers send Spencer Knight, right? And what else?
Correct.
Spencer Knight, the first round pick,
26
Chicago.
conditional first, I think.
so here's the trade: 2026 first round pick and Spencer Knight to Chicago in exchange for Seth Jones at 26% retained, which is about $2.5 million. So we're getting him.
It's $2.5 million exactly.
Okay.
So
Cody,
that's why it says
Okay.
approximately.
And the
26%.
condition on the 2026 first round pick is, as of right now, it's a first round pick. However, if at a later date they want to move a draft pick, a first round pick, they have the option to make that pick that they sent to Chicago in 2027 and ship off a 2026 first to another team in exchange for the trade. I believe we also got a fourth round pick. Yes, we did.
JC Burns confirmed
So
that.
obviously there's a
And
lot to
that's and that's a 25 for, so that'd
Yes.
be this year.
So, and that's a lot.
Oh, great. In this terrible draft class, we get another pick. Yay.
Anyway,
Cody, hold on. Not to be.
We're
technical,
really hoping
Pierre-
Ethan
Okay, hold on a
Zana
minute.
falls to the fourth round, I guess.
Pierre LeBrun broke the deal, right, Cody?
Frank Saravelli.
Saravelli was the first one I
Oh,
saw.
I saw the LeBrun stuff.
Friedman was the first one to tweet something about it.
Okay.
He was saying, like, he did the same thing with the Tarasenko deal last year, where he didn't exactly break it, but he said talks were intensifying. Like, that's the exact language he used. And
But,
then Saravalli tweeted saying, "Oh yeah, they're going to acquire him."
Oh,
So-
'cause you're sending me the LeBrun
And
one. Went
Obviously, this.
LeBron was the first one to break the return.
so Spencer Knight.
So obviously, there's a lot of questions here. First of all, I do want to note that that's an interesting condition. I know teams have done that before,
One team I've seen has ever done that before. It was Vegas and the Noah Hannafin trade last
and
year.
then they ended up using that pick to go
For
get
Tomas Hertl.
Tomas Hertl.
Yep.
So obviously, this is big news. A lot of people talking about it. Number one, but number two, it obviously opens up a lot of speculation of what about that first round pick? What does it mean for the goaltending now and in the future, pending UFAs? And there are a lot of interesting takes, both about the trade and potential other trades going around on Twitter. And I want to go through some of them here.
some of the
first,
stuff
but first, everybody, we're just going to give a small analysis on it. What do we think?
well, Vince wanted to give his take because he wasn't here earlier.
So go ahead, Vince.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be blunt. I think Chicago wins this trade. I really do. You know, I look at this and I kind of think Seth Jones was really damn good about like 5 years ago. I get it. He's on a terrible team. I've heard that point 15 times. You don't need to remind me.
He doesn't have to be the number one guy.
He doesn't have to be the number one guy, but I kind of get the feeling it's like if you're expecting him to be that number one elite Norris level guy, I think you're going to be disappointed. I think he can be very good on a top pair. I think he can be a very good, very capable top pairing defenseman who can probably get you about 45 to 50 points in a season at his very best.
Who's expecting him to be a Norris guy? Because me, Cody, and Nick ain't expecting Ekblad or Forsling.
I don't know.
You're telling me this guy
I'm just making that's more of a public announcement. I'm not calling anybody out here for that.
I understand.
But I just don't think Jones, he's like there. Okay. So there was something Steve Goldstein said that kind of threw me a bit off, which was that he compared it to when we got Bennett, Montour, and Reinhart. I think that is a terrible comparison for one major reason, which is the age of all those guys. Bennett was 24, about to turn 25 when we got him. Obviously, is underperforming in Calgary, but he hadn't hit his peak yet. Montour, I think, was 26, and he was all right. He showed some flashes, but he hadn't hit his peak yet. Sam Reinhart was 26, and he was pretty damn good for Buffalo. It was just he was on a terrible team. He had, I think, 20 or 25 goals in about 5 or 6 consecutive seasons. So we knew Reinhart was good, but we knew he hadn't really spread his wings and taken full flight yet.
But nobody
Seth Jones-
expected 57 goals.
No, nobody expected that, but
Right.
I think people expected him to become a more consistent, like 30 to 35 goal scorer, which you can say he probably has. Seth Jones is 30, and he already is what he is. That's not bad, but I don't think that's necessarily bad. But to say, oh, Seth Jones is all of a sudden going to hit a new level, I don't think he's got that in him.
I'm not going to say, okay, first of all, he's going to get better. You're coming to a Florida
I would
Panthers.
think he's going to get better.
You're going to get better.
24, 25.
How much better?
But here's the thing. $7 million in this rising cap for a player like Seth Jones. I don't care what the analytics say. I don't care. Nobody's watching.
The analytics
Chicago.
actually don't say he's been that bad. They say he's been
Great.
all right.
I don't care.
I was going to say, like, who on the defensive side do we have that has the goals?
Hold on. I want to just
and the
finish my
points?
point real quick. I
Yeah,
just want to
go
finish my point real quick. You play a player like Seth Jones caliber. He's coming into a really good team, into an excellent situation at a retained cap hit. He's a damn good player. He's not atrocious. He's a little overpaid. He was a little overpaid. I think $7 million in the rising cap.
He was overpaid.
He was overpaid.
He was wildly overpaid at 9.
Wildly overpaid, but $7 million in a rising cap era makes a huge difference. Now, again, I'm not saying Seth Jones is going to become a Norris Trophy guy, but like Kirby said, you don't think
I would argue he never was. Like even when you thought he was in the late 2010s, not you, but like when people thought he was, he kind of really wasn't.
Okay, he is a legit, I still believe, top pairing defenseman with a very good pedigree, coming into an excellent situation. I'm not saying he needs to be Norris Trophy or that, but he can be top pair. And if you put him into this team, onto this defense, what does that do for the Florida Panthers? What does that do for the Florida Panthers? Can you name me, realistically, a better defenseman we could have gotten at this deadline?
No.
Can you name me a better top 4 in the Eastern Conference? I'll put ours up with anybody.
And that goes to show you that Bill Zito wants to win now. It's not about the future. It's not about next year, the year after.
Matthew, stop it. Stop it.
agree.
Okay, Drieger's got an 878 or whatever in Charlotte, and Cooper Black's Cooper Black. Get that out of here.
And there have been some surprise. I'll say this, and there are a couple of comments that were coming through that I want to just put up here, and we could each respond to it. But before I do, I just want to say on Seth Jones, you're getting a really good defenseman, and adding him to a great team.
And I think Kirby and I and Nick last week, we talked about it on NHL After Dark. That's the guy we wanted, and we saw fit with.
And it's like a good fit. And listen,
with retention.
and we got that. I really like Spencer Knight. I'm going to be honest. I don't really give a damn about the first round pick. That's not going to be useful to us, right? Okay, because everybody like.
Although,
my problem's not with the first.
Next year's draft's supposed to be better.
But where we're drafting, are you going to get anybody really? And I'm not saying, let's be honest, with Zito's pedigree and with free agents that everybody loves, Jesper Boqvist, guys like that, we don't need anybody star-studded. We need role-supporting players. And there's nobody we're going to get at the end of the first round that's going to be able to fill that need that we're going to have. You know what we're going to need through this contending window? We're going to need defensemen here, forwards there, maybe a backup goalie there. That to plug in those holes. And they need to be cheap. And frankly, could you do that through the draft? Yes. But it's a lot quicker to identify a player like a Boqvist, like you did with Stenlund last year, like you've done with guys like Duclair and Verhaeghe in the past. Maybe not to those levels.
You're not getting to those levels, not with the cap going
You're
up.
telling me you can't replicate a Jesper Boqvist?
Oh, you could replicate Jesper Boqvist, but if you're talking Carter Verhaeghe and Duclair,
that
was because of the COVID flat cap.
Okay.
That was because of the COVID.
You're telling me you can't replicate, maybe not to how good he was, but sort of what Kevin Stenlund did, or
you
Nate
almost
Schmidt
to replicate Kevin Stenlund,
or a Nate Schmidt, or an Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
I'd rather replicate OEL than Nate Schmidt, but sure.
The thing that makes good teams not become good anymore as they move on their window is depth. And the salary cap pausing essentially after COVID really did hamper that a bit.
It hurt a lot of teams.
Yeah, and the thing is with this trade, I also have to ask the question to people: was Spencer Knight's prime going to line up with the Panthers Cup window?
No, I don't think so. And I
Because-
think that's
Debatable.
Because Spencer Knight, like after let's
It
say
depends on how long Barkov and Reinhardt's primes are.
like,
Because I would
plays
argue if
into
those
it.
guys have long primes, which I think they very well could have, it almost certainly would have lined up.
If Lundell's a 2C and proves
Which I think he already is.
But my biggest fear with
Bruce.
Knight,
Yeah.
and I felt this because I felt like he would have been the starter once Bob was gone. I felt like my
but you would have gave him more starts than I would have, Cody.
yeah, but because I wanted to like keep
and I
Bob
think that's
managed.
kind of what you and I, Cody.
No, I mean, hold on. You would give Knight more starts with the new incumbent goalie behind him or sharing the net with him than I would. I would want another guy there with him, kind of battling.
No, not at that point.
I would.
That does not work, and there's no team that wins with that.
Well,
many
maybe that's
cells.
why he's not here, Cody.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But he's not here because of cap reasons mainly. But
Now, if they believed in him and
But-
said he's going to be the number one,
It's
But-
money. It's the money.
it was mainly money. But the thing was,
know. You know,
but the thing is like I felt like one issue we could have ran into was what the same issues Dallas is running into with Jake Ottinger.
you don't like Ottinger.
Oh, God.
Here we go. This is
Answer those questions.
Did
We'll
we
see
did
on
we-
the first one.
But no, what I mean by
I
that
want
is,
Ottinger to hold the cup here.
but what I mean by that is like we have to go through the growing pains in the playoffs. Like Ottinger had that one great series versus Calgary in 2022, but then 2023, 2024, where they lost because 2023 he was not good. Let's be real, he wasn't good.
Cody, he's a big part of where they're getting to. And they're
Oh.
getting a lot further than 85-90% of the teams in the league.
Okay, and then 2024, same thing happens again.
He's getting mad at me earlier, guys, about the Minnesota Wild, but on Dallas, it's let's shit on
Because they're going to become the new age and San Jose Sharks if they don't do something. And you hated
Little
San
fun
Jose.
fact: same coach as the San Jose Sharks. It is Peter DeBoer. So
But but he was there for like what, 2-3 years?
he's been in Dallas for 2-3 years. I don't know how long he's been in San Jose.
Like,
How long he
I
was
I
in
think
San
it
Jose.
was 2 years.
A while.
2 years.
Like,
Four
San-
years there doesn't always get you to the promised land, but one of the best Game 7 records, I think, in history.
He'll get you to the finals. He'll never win in them.
Get him to a Game 7 Stanley Cup final, then they might be cooking.
Yeah, he's usually kind of snuffed out before that.
Game 7 Western Conference Finals. Like
I think he has like a legendary Game 7 record.
So does this mean Florida maybe resigns Bob?
okay, wait, hold up. So Cody, you're paying 4.5 now. Next time to 4.575 for back. We're not if Knight was here and he was a starter, we're not re-signing Bob. Like
What do you
Are
mean? We're not re-sign Bob to a 1-2 year deal, Cody?
I doubt like
Oh,
Bob, I think
I don't know
there's-
about that. I
he's
think they might.
38.
timeless.
And he has the cup, 2 Vesnas. What else does he have left to accomplish?
Give him 20, 25, 30 starts as that backup.
I'm right there with Cody.
I will say this: you don't want to be in a situation kind of like Carolina, where it's you have like you know I know Carolina
You have
has
3
some of their
goalies,
problems,
but you have
but where
none.
it's like they've had the team, they've had the forwards, they've had the defense that has been cup caliber. But the thing that has always kind of really brought them down has been their goaltending just doesn't win them games. Their goaltending cannot steal them games. Or because it's Freddie Anderson, can't stay healthy. Because it was Antti Ranta, couldn't stay healthy.
So we want to get rid of
The
Bob.
last thing I think that
Healthy, and that's a
Florida
horse.
needs, and I'm not saying this puts them in that situation for sure, but the last thing you need is, okay, we got the forwards, we got the defense, we're set, and then you can't find the goaltending. Because it can be a little bit, it's not just that easy. Like goaltending, you can kind of find it anywhere, but it is difficult to find. That's kind
when
of the
you
great
find it, you don't
quandary of
wanna let go of it.
goaltending.
When you find it, you don't want to let go of it.
That too.
That's Bob.
Because it is difficult to find. Like
And I
you
think
can
Bob,
you can get a good goalie for cheap. Like Vegas got Aiden Hill for a 4th, but you can also try and do that and have it not work out.
But
Right.
I'm praying one of our goalies that we drafted hits soon. 'Cause we
And
draft
That's why you
one
draft a lot of them.
We draft
why you
one
draft
every
a
like
lot
year.
to
of 'em.
draft a goalie every year. I talk with Vince about this a lot off air.
you guys can't forget either. I mean, Bob's work ethic off the ice is immaculate. And, a lot of players,
fine.
a lot of coaches say, like, They've never seen anything like it. So you can't say that he's not going to be able to play another 1 to 2 more years.
Yep. You
No,
can't base
no.
him off another guy. He's
The
not-
the only
I'm
thing
sorry.
is it's,
I believe
Not
Father.
better than first.
I believe Father Time's undefeated.
No, you can
Father
say
Time will
We're
always be
not
undefeated.
asking
The only,
him to be the guy, the main
yeah,
guy.
Yeah.
Just make play. This is 45% of the season,
But
and when the playoffs come,
Mhm.
we'll see what happens.
that tandem shit doesn't work. Like that's the
But
problem.
Bob is a
That-
different.
the tandem
he's
shit.
a different
That's what was
goaltender.
going to happen with Knight.
I'm just gonna say this: Spencer Knight was not
He wasn't
playing in
gonna
the play.
play.
He's not playing in the playoffs. He's not. Here's the thing. I was talking with Matthew about this. He's like, frankly, he's like, do I care? Yeah, but it's like,
I mean,
don't
we
care
all
about.
saw, we
I
all
don't-
saw
hold
how
on.
good Stolars was
Hold-
last year. He did not get like that much playing
Yeah,
time in the
Stolarz was
playoffs.
backing up Knight.
Hold on.
Solar's got protected
I was
starts.
But
talking.
it got starts
yeah,
with Knight.
I
He
was.
got protected starts.
I was
He would have
talking
more
with
starts Knight.
Matthew,
Right.
and he said,
But I'm
I
talking
don't.
about in the playoffs.
Hold on. I was talking with Matthew, and he said,
Stolarz plays
frankly,
in the playoffs.
I don't care about a cup 3-4 years from now. I want to win it this year and next year. Spencer Knight's not doing that. Listen, I love Spencer Knight. I think he'd be a great goalie, and I wanted to keep him. And am I a little upset about getting rid of him? Yes, but I understand it because I value winning, and I value winning now. Because what good is it if Spencer Knight's good in 3-4 years, but freaking Matthew Tkachuk is injured and getting older? What good is it? What
I
good
think,
is
Keeper, you guys are
Well,
talking about the cap.
he's gonna
You guys are
be
talking
almost
about,
30.
hold on, you guys are talking about the cap.
And that's just an example.
I think there's organizational differences behind the scenes with Knight still.
I was gonna say
Moved out.
and
There's
maybe
differences going on.
maybe Spencer
It's
Knight
not going to work with.
didn't want to be here. We don't
Yeah,
know.
and there's issues going on still. I believe this.
I don't know if it's that he doesn't want to be here, but it would not be surprised if there was a rift between himself and management that ultimately it just kind of made it.
This is why it happened now.
It made it better to separate now than to have kind of a Vancouver situation where everybody knows there's a rift. And granted, it was between Miller and Pedersen, and not necessarily between like Miller and JR.
I'm just going to ask
But we're
this
better
question.
than them.
But it might be
We're better than them.
like maybe
I'm going to ask
that's
this question. Does anybody know the first round pick besides Vince? Does anybody know the first round pick that that we traded for Ben Sherratt? Like realistically, is he making any noise in the league right
Who
now?
traded that pick?
They traded it for Alex Newhook, yeah.
Exactly.
And
Where's Alex
just
Newhook?
in case anyone in comments actually wonders, Colorado took Mikhail Gulyayev with that pick.
Okay, where's
But
that?
Nick, do you believe any
Still
of this?
playing in Russia.
Nick, do you believe any of this?
He'll
with
come
Knight
over soon.
off-
He's going to be
off the
coming over
ice?
soon.
Hold on, I can't hear
Nick,
Kirby. What?
Do you
Kirby, go
believe
ahead.
this off the ice issue stuff could be more than on the ice? Because on the ice he's performed pretty well this year.
I don't
still
think.
there's more at play here.
I think I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think this is an indictment on Spencer Knight's performance recently. To say, I
Honest-
think it's more
On-
on the cap, on
I honestly think you guys-
organizational
if
differences.
there's an
I think different.
They
There's
could have worked the
organizational.
cap. They could have worked the
I
cap.
think organizational differences played a big part in
Philosophically.
where they philosophically, like where they feel Bob is, where they feel Knight is realistically long term. And again, Kirby,
Why would they make this move if Bob's retiring in a year or two? It would make no sense. Or that he's cooked or he's done in their eyes.
again, like I'm just going to say this: if you want a great NHL GM, just go on Twitter. You'll find thousands of them. But no, it's like there's obviously a plan. Like,
Yeah.
what is this? What happens here? I'm like, you don't think they thought of that?
I was going
Like,
to say
they
and
get
I don't
paid
think
to
they're
do
done yet.
this.
They-
If
I
we're
don't think
thinking of
they're
it,
done yet.
It's
I don't
just
think-
say, if we're thinking of it, they get paid to do it, so they're thinking about
It's
it.
just
Everyone
my,
trusts Zito. Why don't
See,
they
if
trust
they're
him?
You
not
think
done
Zito's just
yet-
gonna get? You think Zito's just gonna get past it? Then like, oh wait, I forgot to get a backup.
We didn't get a backup goal.
If
Oh my
they're
goodness.
not done yet, they have to
Like,
move money out.
It's
They'll
just-
have to move money out to get a backup.
it's just
That's true.
Unless
But on the money.
unless
on the
Matthew
money.
Tkachuk is on LTIR.
it's
Here's
just
the
for
only
me,
thing I would say about that. If you were gonna put Tkachuk on LTIR, why didn't you do it already? Like he's been injured for the past few
Cody
weeks.
had
You've
a
been
theory
able to
on it.
run tests on him. You can
Cody had a
see
theory.
what his injury is. You don't have to publicize it. You don't have to tell us because most teams don't anyway.
but they
but-
haven't done anything with them, which is the
Yeah, but
crazy.
why
Cody,
would you
they-
why
hold
would
on,
you
Cody, they-
wait
they're incurring
to put
money.
him on LTIR on
Yeah.
March 2nd
They're
when
incurring money.
you're
Explain that.
Yeah, because they're incurring money each day they don't use their LTIR money. Like that's like kind of
Well,
like how
technically, even if they are not using the LTIR, they're still even if they use it, there's still money that they could in theory accrue. So
yeah, I
Oh,
just
is that why, Vince?
I'm not
yeah,
sure.
because they're under the cap
Because of
anyway.
the
So you accrue
theory
money
behind
as
it.
long as you're under the cap.
What it
It's
is.
just
And
you
even
gotta
with the
pick,
LTIR, as long as you're not using it and going overages, like that's when you stop earning.
it's just
It's when you
as of
stop accruing when you go over and you're using
it's
LTIR.
just as of right now, you got 5 days until the deadline. You got to figure this shit out now. Because we can't be going through this week where we can have possibly $9.5 million more of cap space to go out and do more things. Because
And
we're
you're not
fucking,
using it.
yeah, and we're just fucking around trying to figure out treatment options.
What
Cody,
I could
hold
see
on.
happening.
It's
Cody,
been
I
a,
got a question for you. You
it's-
said, you've got a busy week ahead here. So you're not going to be on your phone much. Does that change now?
what do you mean?
So you aren't going to be on your phone, checking your phone for updates.
Oh no, that's not going to change at all.
Oh, so
Yeah,
How are we-
Kirby.
Oh.
Unlike the four of us here, Cody has a life.
Cody always breaks the news to me, so I don't know how.
I was gonna say, can we snip it? If we have a breaking news live feed with Cody and Kirby, then we know that he was on his phone.
For what I'm doing this week, my phone is usually off.
That's well. No.
Okay.
So, because I need to focus 100%. But,
I wouldn't, David. I wouldn't. I'm trying to stand up for Bob. I always got to stand up for Bob on the post game space.
But
Yeah,
it's just I'm terrified of a Luongo type.
I think
decline.
you oversold that a lot with things that were going on.
Oh, I don't think he did. He could
Luongo
barely
and
move.
Leib-
He could barely move by the end, Kirby.
yeah. That
Yeah.
is one thing that does happen.
It wasn't because he
like,
was
15,
washed.
the way you-
16, he was
He
here.
wasn't washed. He didn't want to prepare camps.
He
Third
played
time
30
Cody's
games
headphones
a
says
year
that.
after that.
He didn't want
They had to get Michael
He
Hutchinson.
They also just let him pick and choose whoever he played against. They basically gave
So
him
you're
the full
telling
Randy
me I had
Moss
to
treatment.
watch-
You just
I
choose when
had
you
to
want to
watch
play.
freaking Michael Hutchinson and Rito Berra, and he
Yeah.
wasn't washed.
No, he wasn't washed.
Clip it.
He was this.
Clip it.
Oh, he
Okay,
wasn't.
okay,
I'm gonna get Ryan in here now. I'm gonna get
okay.
Ryan.
Just
Cody, it froze. Oh, hold on.
do
Cody,
we
your
want to
thing
answer
froze.
that
What was it?
question there?
Real quick, yeah.
Good one.
I'm surprised Cody likes this deal with Seth Jones.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
say
Anyway.
before we say anything.
I was gonna say let's wrap up a little bit.
But
on
yeah,
this,
you
Seth
better
Jones.
hope Bob doesn't get hurt, because as good as you condition, you can be as
Well,
well
you guys
conditioned as
are
you want. You
wishing
can train
on
as well
it.
as you want, but
You guys are wishing it on it.
injuries will happen to anybody.
Well, that happens.
So
Vince
you
is-
better
Vince is-
hope that Bob
Hey,
doesn't
hey,
get
Vince
hurt.
is always the
Nick,
downer.
Nick, that happens to number 5 on the Panthers.
Wait,
But
Caesar, let me just share the screen real quick. Let
I'm
me
just gonna
share
say
one
this
thing.
on the
Just to
Jimmy
prove my
Fallon
point.
on the Jimmy Fallon point. It's about time we get fucking Paul Maurice on that.
Yeah,
So,
but here's the thing. Look at the game.
he better be hosting the show
He
after.
went from 62 to 40, 35, 43, but he wasn't washed. This is what I'm afraid of.
That's
This
still on
is what
Thursday.
I'm afraid of.
We'll see. We'll see.
Well, Cody, you do
Well,
have
for
to
that.
keep in mind that at that point, the way the relationship was with Luongo was he just got to pick and choose whatever games he played. If he didn't want to play, Bugner wasn't going to play him.
Oh, Bob
Yeah.
would
Or
never
whoever
do
the coach,
that.
whoever the coach was at the time,
You try to play.
they
for
weren't
Bob.
going to play him.
And look at this. 1.3 save goals saved by the second, 19.3, and then
Oh,
like,
You know, if we're
What
short on
defense-
goalies, we could just give a nice call up to Alex All and see what he's doing nowadays.
Well, Nick, now we have Nicholas Lidstrom, Aaron Ekblad, and we got Seth Jones. So
There we go. Now it's time to get Alex All, dude.
Anyways, guys, great job. Great
I need to
topic.
spike
Great
this Coke
discussion.
Zero.
there.
This is pissing me off.
Yeah.
Let's kind of get into.
I mean, Chicago's got their goalie of the future, so that
Right,
was the
but
one
let's-
thing they were really
okay,
missing
let's
in the rebuild.
And I think we're all going to be rooting for him. He is in the West Side, on the West Coast, so or
I got-
Central.
He better beat Edmonton.
Let's get
That's
into
all
this
I'll say.
segment. I got a rant about this.
I was going to say, I was kind of talking to Kirby the other day. Is Matthew Tkachuk the face of the Florida Panthers, or
Yes.
possibly the face of the NHL?
Face of the NHL, I'm not sure.
I don't
I
know
mean,
about
well,
face
like
of the
the-
NHL, but to be honest, okay. Do you guys remember when he went on Inside the NBA during the 23 playoff
Yeah.
run? Does
Oh,
anyone
yeah.
remember that? If it wasn't clear to you then that was the face of the team, I don't know what to tell you.
Like
There you go.
besides,
That's my point.
You know what's funny? I think Barkov likes it that way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's the best player on the team, and everyone knows that the team ain't shit without him. Pardon the language, but he's fine not having to go out and do late night TV.
But
It's
here's
who he is. I'm fine with it.
But here's what these idiots out here just make me upset.
So is this your rant here, Cody, that you've been holding all week?
Yes.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
All right,
I am glad I'm here for this.
Hear it.
Okay.
Turn up the volume here.
So, you Canadian idiots.
Whoa.
You guys have been crying for the last 10 years about how we need to grow the game of hockey, that the hockey needs more exposure. And they're getting it right now. But you're just like, oh, because he lost 4 nations. Well, what does he want? He won the fucking Stanley Cup, you bunch of dumbasses. Like, are you kidding me? And you guys are like, why do they interview Canadian player? The Canadian players have a personality of this damn trash can. It is absolutely horrible.
He's overusing that.
Oh no! How about this? This PlayStation controller. You want that one?
I like the trash can. Don't like
or this puck.
I didn't know this was Cody's take, but I got a lot of comebacks.
But here's the thing. We're trying to grow the game, and it's and here's the thing. We're not looking to grow the Canadian audience. This is the Canadian national sport. They're gonna have the Canadian audience. We're trying to grow the American audience.
That's how you guys always look at it.
And you want to know how we grow the American audience? By not putting a Canadian player there, by putting an American player there.
And not just with Matthew Tkachuk, but with Brady Tkachuk too.
Not to butt in, but I think this problem also exists in basketball. No disrespect to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander because the dude can ball, but American fans want an American face of their leagues. It's just kind of the way we are. So, like, yes, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's Canadian, great player. Nikola Jokic, who's Serbian, awesome player. But them being the faces of the league is not going to sell to American fans. Not really. So just saying, oh, let's throw Connor McDavid. And yes, I know Connor McDavid is the personality of an alien who just landed on Earth and doesn't know how anything works.
And I don't think Americans like that.
That's not
they
going to
don't
play.
like that kind of player.
Even if so Connor Bedard. Let's get Connor Bedard.
I'm jumping in.
Okay.
Connor McDavid, personality of a potato, whatever. You throw McKinnon, Crosby, and McDavid up there together as a 3-person panel.
Are you kidding me? Oh my God!
Okay, no, Kirby. I would give you Crosby. I actually don't mind Crosby. Like, his personality is not
all 3
bad.
of them you bring up there.
Like he can be a little vanilla, but he's not bad.
Would sit there like this.
Cody,
McKinnon would just sit there like this next to Crosby the whole time,
anything.
looking at him the way like Usha Vance looked at JD during the inauguration.
Like, we learn in Canada more than just about our own nation. We learn about other people's nations. I remember growing up and watching late night talk shows. And Caesar, you love late night talk shows. Jay Leno, David
Johnny
Letterman.
Carson, was that you had your guy Kirby?
Nah, that was a little before. That was before my time. So, anyways,
he was on for a while
there. You guys listen to this, please. They would come up there with American athletes wearing, you know what color medal around their neck? Gold. Kerry Strug, Biles, Michael Phelps, and now we're celebrating players that are wearing a silver medal. Cody, if you wanted them there after you won the Stanley Cup, then bring them on there after the Stanley Cup. But they didn't do that. They brought him up there when he won the silver medal. So there is 2 sides to this story. And Americans, they'll celebrate the gold medal and the Wheaties boxes. Are we putting Tkachuk on a Wheatie box for winning a silver medal now?
Yeah, but how about
they still
this?
make Wheaties?
You're trying to grow the fucking game.
You're making
trying to increase the salary cap. If it was for you Canadian fucks, we would still be getting paid $5 million for the best player on the team.
Well, Cody, that's not how it works. Okay?
How does it work then? How the hell does it work then?
You bring up the winners onto a show.
Because the winners.
And you think you can't sell the game
I understand you bring up the winners, but
it's an
but
American.
you can't bring up a Canadian.
It's not, Cody.
To an American show.
An Olympic medalist onto late night talk.
Do you think you're going to bring a Canadian on an American talk show after you guys booed the national anthem?
You don't know.
You think they're going to bring on a Canadian?
That was a snowboarder? They brought him on there because he won a gold medal. He was smoking
Oh,
pot and all this
This is a
stuff.
first
But
take
again,
moment
you
right
don't
here.
care. You don't care. That's an arrogant comment.
Because you're trying to grow the damn game.
You can grow it with those guys.
With who?
I
Why
just
the
told you,
hell?
Nathan
Why the
McKinnon
hell
and Sidney
would you?
Crosby.
No, why the hell would you bring on the Canadian winners after they just booed the whole Canadian fan base just booed our national anthem?
For the past
why
month
would
and a
you do
half.
that?
Like that just
Why
that
would you
wasn't
do
gonna
that?
fly.
No.
Why?
Like Kirby, you're right that American
I brought
fans
up
love
all my
winning
points
above
on
all
the
else. You're
table.
correct about that. But
Carey Strug.
we're not going to say we're going to root for this non-American winner over this American second place guy, especially when that winning team, their fans booed our national anthem for about a month and a half. That's just not going to fly. And I get it. You can agree with whoever you want politically.
Then I don't want to see any players on there for the Olympics. I don't want to see. Just forget it.
That just.
Then you
full
don't want to
stop.
grow the game.
I don't
see the complete point.
I don't care about growing the game. Cody, there's
You
also
don't understand it because you are just trying to say the winners, the winners, the winners. You like it's just absolute asinine from that.
But you calling people out for that is the wrong thing.
Because those are the same people that are saying, "Oh, Matthew Tkachuk went on the scene." The same fucking guy who played in the Stanley Cup Finals with a broken damn sternum. The same people. And it's the same people that are wondering, why can't the NHL market this right?
They promoted the game last year when the Panthers won the cup.
Here's the thing. It's the same people that say, why can't the NHL market this right? Why can't they do this? Why can't they do that? And when they finally do, and they have someone trying to market the game, you guys don't like it.
It's not like that.
I'm saying they're not wrong on that fact.
It's like absolutely stupid.
Okay, you're wrong though. You're wrong to not promote the game with winners.
Can I just say one more thing?
And Vince, you know
promote them.
Wait, Kirby, say your thing, and then I just have one more thing.
No, it's the whole participation.
Real quick. Yeah,
it's the whole participation ribbon thing with society.
Yeah, of course.
Whatever.
I also think part of the reason that people have a problem with Tkachuk in particular is the logo on his chest. They don't like the idea of the American face of sort of the American side of hockey to be a guy who plays on a team in Florida. I think if he was wearing, I don't know, a black and gold wheel with a B on it or a Rangers across his chest, people probably wouldn't have as much of a problem with it. But because it's the team in Florida where, it gets, 60 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter on a good day in terms of weather. And, these people, they don't know hockey. They don't know they don't skate. They don't have ice down there.
No fans.
No fans and all that. It's like, so their guy gets to be, the guy who goes on late night talk shows. I think it's more that than anything else.
That because they've never wanted to grow the game in the Sun Belt and or things like that. As a Canadian, I've done that as content.
It actually kind of reminds me a lot of what you see in regards to like when European sports leagues will market their games or products in the US, like, whether it's the European Premier Leagues, the English Premier League, F1, it's always, we don't want you Americans to actually participate and actually like this. We just want your money so you can come here and get drunk during the events. That sometimes is how it feels.
Yeah.
With a lot of that approach to Florida. We don't really want Florida people to like this or participate in it. We just want your money and we just want you to show up to the arena and get plastered. We don't want to make your players actual stars or anything. We just want to use you as a cash cow.
And the
problem is now we're not being used as a cash cow. Now we're succeeding. And one of our star players is going on Fallon, and these people just can't handle it. And it's not just the Canadians, it's the people in the original 6 markets that are complaining about, well, why isn't this other guy? It's because it's a Florida guy. It's because it's a guy who's playing for a team in South Florida more than anything else.
Yeah, I agree.
Quick, Kirby.
And before we get into this, Caesar, we've got Paul Maurice on the screen. And I think Panther fans need to remember this. A lot of Canadians, including the guy on your screen, is from Canada that has produced this team that we have in the Florida Panthers. So there's a point to that as well.
But the GM's also American.
All right, let's get to the interview.
Okay. Yeah, cherry pick it.
You just never mind.
Is the audio on mute?
Oh, my bad. Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Tense
My
discussion
bad.
there.
Maurice could not be staring in this camera any damn harder.
The face
I
you
think
make.
his eyes are starting to hurt. I can tell. Like
the face you make when you're about to acquire
he wanted
Seth
to bring the
Jones.
fire, so he's going to get some back.
The face
I
you
think
make
that's
when
how
you're
he
about.
felt when he was listening to Kirby there.
Is that the
Coordination,
face? Is it,
synergy. Matthew Tkachuk obviously got banged up in that, and you're still waiting. I know you're not going to rush him back. Here's my question. It was so good for the sport. It was so good for the sport and so good for the league. But this is why other leagues and other players don't want to do this, because there is a risk of injury, and we know hockey players are different, and especially in a format like that. As a head coach, how do you feel about that? Like, it's great for the overall, but your guy's out.
Yeah, that's he can get hurt in practice. That's the culture of a full contact 82 game sport. The game is the most important thing. All the players, the Tkachuk brothers for sure, Team Canada. I mean, we just sold the game in a way. It was on display in the middle of the season. They'll drop the gloves. They'll go after it. It was awesome. We lost the player. And that's the price sometimes you got to pay. But I thought it was fantastic. It is well worth the risk to display our sport to people it's just a fantastic way. I thought it was fantastic. It's a risk. It's a risk every day. Every time they step on the ice, that's possible. We can't live by that risk.
Great fucking point. I'm so glad he said it. I'm so glad because there's still a lot of backlash on X of, oh, I don't like this platform. Our players are going to get hurt. Now we're going to lose him for the season, or what's going to happen here in the playoffs. So what do you guys think? What do you think of Paul Maurice's point there? And I've been saying that all along to all my friends as well. It's like you could get hurt in practice. You could get hurt walking across the street. Like obviously it's you're playing a game of four nations and it's not on your team, but I thought Paul Maurice said it perfectly.
I said that, Cody, Nick, Vince.
well, first what I wanted to say.
Why are we using that as a
what I wanted to say was, do you think that's the face he made at the beginning when he heard we were acquiring Seth Jones? That's how he looked at Zito.
No, he's probably smiling because he's like, "Thank fuck, I need because Maurice loves big."
I think Bob was
We all
smiling.
agree Paul Maurice likes what
I'm starting to think Paul Maurice is coining the term "fuck them picks," Bill, right there. No, I thought Kirby, there was a shot directed at me. Apparently, the freaking I talked about that.
What?
No, look. The tournament was unbelievable, and obviously, it's the idea of you want to play for your country. Well, you might get hurt, right? That is what it is. I do think it promotes the game in a certain kind of way, and obviously, us as fans, it hurts people, but it means a lot to those players. It means a lot to a lot of fans, but to those players, I think they put in the work every day. They want to go put their bodies on the line to play international play for the country. If something happens, that's up to them, right? And I don't think they should be deprived of it. It's what makes hockey a unique sport, what separates us. I think that international play, now you see all these different leagues. Wow, look at this, that, the other thing, right? It's what separates us and what makes up what I believe the greatest game in the world, not just NHL, but international play. And I think the players feel the same way. So if they get hurt, I'm doing this. But yes, it sucks. But I don't think we should deprive them of that opportunity and take it away, because that's, number one, something they want to do. And number two, I think it would make our game great. So that's my take on it. Although there is some frustration with injuries, of course. But,
he wasn't the guy I was worried about, to be honest, though.
No, if it was Barkov, I'd probably be a lot different.
I was terrified for Mikko. The hell with all.
Oh my gosh! With the minutes,
I was more worried about Barkov because this team is nothing without him. So.
Yeah, but I was most worried about Mikko because at least with Barkov, he wouldn't be playing a bunch of. Mikko is going to play 22 plus minutes.
Yeah, Cody. In that. Do you guys think people have reacted to the Tkachuk injury quite well because of how good this tournament was? If it wasn't, and it was a complete catastrophe, like some people thought.
Do you want me to be honest with you? Our position in the standings and LTIR money made it a lot easier to handle.
I was going to say,
if we use the LTIR money, that's the big question there.
And
because the tournament was a success, and what me and Cody just displayed here, I think if it was different than that, then people would be furious.
And the fact that
I agree with Cody. You can go ahead.
Kind of going into that, because Florida wasn't the only team that lost a player, but Boston lost a player too.
Oh, that's
Boston lost one. Vegas lost.
Boston ain't happy with Minnesota's medical team. Let's just be frank.
They were doing whole Twitter wraparounds about the Minnesota medical team, but luckily, I think luckily for us, Florida's won 3 straight ever since coming out the All-Star break. It really should have been 4, but goaltender and
Yeah,
fair
I
and
think
all
we've
that.
looked really good. We kind of picked up where we left off.
Yeah, and once again, position in the standings. We're no longer looking at the standings to be like, oh my gosh, we're 3 points back with 2 games in hand. Like,
Oh, Cody and I had to hear that 2 years ago there.
Yeah, we don't have to do that kind of math.
like,
We had to 2 years ago, though, Kirby. Like, we had to.
And we
had to do
we
that
talked
math.
about it here after dark in the past couple of weeks too. That this team, we've seen them win without Tkachuk. What we're worried about is the playoffs. If he's healthy in the playoffs, then by all means, sign me up.
and
Sign me up. That's all that matters.
And the thing is, it's like why I think LTR just makes the most sense is the Panthers ever since Paul Maurice has been put into power, or at least these last 2 seasons, have erred on the side of caution for each and one of their players. They are not going to put in a player unless they know for a fact he's 100%, unless it's the playoffs. Because Maurice does have these sayings where if it was the playoffs, he'd be playing. But because here's the thing, because remember last year they held out Barkov for 2-3 extra games to get him back to 100%. They did that with Bennett I think was it Bennett last year? I don't remember.
Wash, rinse, and repeat with him whenever he's been out for a little bit. They usually hold him out an extra game.
And then they did it with Ekblad this year.
Ditto.
It's
Ekblad, I would always err on the side of caution.
David, I think they go backup goalie if that happens.
Backup goalie. If they go,
They're gonna get multiple pieces. I don't know why. You're so
Well, I mean, backup goalie
Are we
becomes top priority.
The backup
Just
goalie thing, though, Cody, on spaces and just in the community, it's not I was talking to Nick.
It's not difficult to get. It really
it's
isn't.
not difficult
It's
to get, but you're
call up
not
a
gonna you're
team.
not gonna finish the deadline with Chris Strieger or Kenneth.
I mean, hell, you
Kenneth
could
Holt,
use
not even under contract, but you're not gonna have Chris Strieger as your backup goalie.
You
after
could use
the
the
deadline.
fourth
That's
you
not
got
gonna happen.
tonight to go get your.
Just pick it up. Yeah, just go pick one up. So
Bob
that'd probably be the first thing, just because it's hey, we have the
Bob
opening
won't
there.
come out
So
of the crease unless
that's why I say it's the first thing. It's not because it's all of a sudden that's the only thing we need. It's because
let me see something.
Cody, people are
one
worried
up.
about Drieger being dressed. Bob, you're gonna have to pull him off the ice.
Yeah, especially with Knight gone. He's like,
for Drieger to get in.
He's gonna be like, "Who's the fucking backup?" He's like, "Yeah, that's right. I'm not coming out of the
Because
net."
to finish up the year, we have 4 back-to-backs.
Oh God!
The last 8 games of the season are all back-to-backs.
No, the last in April we have 3.
How's that possible?
We definitely need a backup.
April 1st
Yeah,
and 2nd.
see?
April 1st and 2nd.
After the deadline.
All of a sudden, I'm not crazy, right?
April.
But I don't. That's why.
Well, go get JoJo.
April 1st and 2nd, Montreal, Toronto. Then 2-day break, and then another back-to-back, Ottawa, Detroit.
And those are all on the road, right?
Indeed.
Yeah. They're gonna need
And Montreal, Ottawa, and Detroit are all teams that could be pushing for a playoff spot at that point.
And then the last 2 games of the season are back as a back-to-back as well.
Toronto and Tampa.
Rangers, Tampa.
In Tampa?
Oh,
yes.
Wonderful.
I don't remember the last time we ended the season on the road.
Was it? Oh wait, on
Montreal.
The road.
Montreal. And by the way,
Montreal,
by the way, that's at the end of a 3 games in 4 nights.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay.
That's a good one.
And that's what, April 15th?
But by then we might have already clinched that second spot. The second.
We might have
It's
already
possible,
clinched our spot.
yeah.
I'll say this: I think guy like Ladar, who we saw today, but there's other guys. There's David Riddick in LA. I don't know if they'd be.
Oh,
willing to
hell
move.
No,
no.
LA's not moving a goalie.
I'd rather have
Big game,
Drieger.
Dave. Big game, Dave.
Big save, Dave.
I don't know, but I think to answer the question, I think depth forward, maybe another defenseman. If you're gonna get $9.5 million, just fucking get another defenseman. What do we? We have the money.
And with 9.5 in LTIR, you're not going to have to pay that much. Because guess what? You're not going to have to ask teams to retain. So
just get Yoki Haru, a depth forward.
Fuck it, get Mikko Rantanen.
Let's go. By the way,
God.
Carolina lost to Edmonton tonight. When we
Wow.
started off, how shit they've
You know-
been. Holy fuck, Carolina.
You know, it's funny. I didn't know. I didn't know Benny Blanco played for the Sharks until this video, but
Curling is hard, and this was a great video here, Caesar. Just wanted to show it quick. I've curled a few times in my life. I wish I had those guider things. I did it without them, and it makes it.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I think I can speak for me, Nick and Vince. From being from South Florida, I don't even know where to go curl.
Oh, you're gonna find out. It's gonna become the new sport. So those are the little guider things, so you don't fall on your ass, like. And then you can eventually throw a rock when you're on one of them, but I never even used one of them.
I thought
But
it was
you
called
can
a
see some of
stone,
these
Kirby. I thought it was a stone.
Stone
Yeah.
rock, either one.
A stone rock, man.
Stone or rock.
They call it a stone. You use the broom, you sweep it. I played Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympics. This was in there.
This is a hard workout, though. People laugh when you're sweeping. It is a cardio workout in half.
No, it never looked easy. I never thought it was easy.
It never looked.
That's a good throw there and good posture.
Oh, that's yeah.
These are the San Jose Sharks for their team bonding event here.
Remember when the Panthers went like dog sledding a couple years ago?
Yeah, I remember that. We went dog sledding, and then I think we got pumped right after that. So,
And then we got
if we ever had a team of curling,
yeah,
who would be the sweepers on our team?
Well, everyone's got a sweep, but
yeah, because it rotates, right?
The guy
Cody would be a good sweeper.
Like on our team, like us or the Panthers?
Us, like
He's talking us.
all five of us here.
I probably sweep because I probably have the best stick.
Pause.
Hey,
What?
No pause. Zero
We're not
pause.
gonna get Pierre Maguire stuff
Don't
here.
say that. Then
Zero
if you don't want me to
resume.
pause there, come on.
Resume.
Whoever the lead is has to be focused. Steely resolve, Caesar.
I think
Kirby, you sound like you're trying to describe yourself. Kirby, you sound like you're trying to get us to nominate you to do that.
I think
I'd be the third.
I nominate Caesar. Caesar's gonna be the thrower of the stone.
Hey, I can push it with my chair.
Caesar, you got the nice touch.
I'll be on the sideline recording.
I'd pay a lot of money to see Caesar like drift his chair on that ice. That'd be fun.
Oh, dude, forget the stone. Just use my chair. Use me as the freaking stone.
Caesar might be our keeper. Get him up there. Oh, Caesar.
There we go.
Could you imagine Caesar just?
Oh, we're low on a stone.
Could you imagine Caesar in his chair just spinning like this?
If you listen to
Like
that
a-
video later, Caesar, or any of our fans listen, you can hear the guys like, hurry hard. They're like really into it there.
Oh yeah.
Just getting that rock there, it takes a lot of work to get it there. Rock or stone.
But as for those of you who are watching, this is if we were to ice a ice hockey team with us, this would be our team. Actually, no, let me correct it. There we go.
That's a big mistake, Coach.
It's a worse mistake having me on defense.
the
That may
goalie,
be what I coach, but that doesn't mean I can backskate.
Who's gonna be our goalie in the chat?
John.
John Acosta.
There we go.
I think we got to play center because in Canada,
Chris Drieger?
we're defensively responsible and up the middle of the ice. So.
By the way, speaking of goalies, what about next game? Like,
Just
who's the
Kirby,
backup
just
for the-
make sure
Hold on,
that when
hold
we're
on.
in the ozone, just throw me in front of the crease.
Hold on a minute.
I got a big butt. Goalie won't see
Okay.
anything. Don't
Hold
Hold on a
worry.
minute. Next game, nobody knows who's the backup for Florida. Nobody's been called up.
John
Holy
Acosta.
fuck! From the Raptors, Roberto Luongo. Holy shit!
How old is
John
he?
Acosta, I wanna
46?
add, John Acosta is working extra hard right now to be the E-bug.
Wouldn't Luongo technically be an e-bug?
He's in the
Technically, yeah.
We'd have him on if he ever made his NHL
Rob
debut.
Taylor's the E-bug, I think.
And we have big injury thing right now.
Yeah.
Quinn Hughes did not play the last 9:05 of the game for Vancouver against Seattle tonight.
Oh, so
Oh,
dealing with
Cody,
injury.
your girlfriend's gonna be pissed.
I've just got the text.
Yep.
So before
I had
we
a
do
feeling.
Caesar, before we do rap tonight, we have those 2 videos before we go off.
Yeah. So I'm
Oh,
gonna
we're
show
wrapping
these
soon, but
two-
I've had so much fun.
I know, but we got plenty of more next week. And we kind of I guess we basically hit all the topics today. Great job, guys.
Some that weren't on the list. But yeah.
No, but great job. Awesome work as always. Great job on breaking the news with the Seth Jones here tonight. Cody, Kirby.
I'm glad Cody was here for that because Cody's going to
Yeah.
be a great deadline week, so he's able to edit.
No, for sure. And Vince, thank you for coming on, letting everybody know who you are. We're definitely going to have
That's
Awesome.
Tuna. That's Tuna in the chat.
No,
There
no,
we
no,
go.
Kirby, you pointed at Nick there. He's over
Yeah.
here. I'm on your right now.
the other way, the other right. Nope, that's
No.
that.
That's
That
for
the
my-
other
No,
way,
I'm
the other
not.
way.
I'm on
No,
the
I'm
same
here.
You're
I'm
level.
left.
pointing
You're
where the
left.
chat is. I'm
You're
pointing where the
left.
chat is. I'm
You're
pointing where the
left.
chat
Okay,
is.
You're
other
pointing
side.
towards me.
Point to your left.
Oh my
This
God,
is where
Kirby.
Nick is.
Point to
No,
your
they
left.
Cody switched him around.
You know what, Kirby?
Points
Just
to-
stop. You're done. I'm the center now. I'm the center now. Okay.
Hey, we'll do my
Uh.
favorite thing. Kirby, left bench. Like,
Oh,
Oh man, we're
man.
having too much fun, guys.
Good
yeah.
night.
Oh man.
Don't
Hey.
forget the video, Caesar. I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah, we're not finished yet, Nick.
No, we're not finished yet.
Wait.
So, thank you guys. You guys have been awesome. Tremendous job as always. We're gonna end here with the videos. Anything else, guys? Any last minute thoughts?
expect the podcast, I think, right around Tuesday.
And also, for anybody who's not subscribed, make sure to subscribe.
Make sure to
Join
like,
us here.
share.
Kirby, let's do it with me. Here, right fucking here.
No, you got it.
Friday, March 7th.
There's the
We're gonna
bug.
be. I'm gonna be.
Wait,
We're gonna be
wait,
Vince,
where's-
Caesar, Kirby, and Banksy.
Yeah.
Gonna be here. It's gonna be great.
Here's the
3
banner right
hours,
here.
4
So-
hours,
Thank you. I was just
whatever,
doing that.
however long
I was
it's
just
gonna
doing that.
take. We'll be on here live breaking the
Live
news
March
as it
7th.
happens.
And maybe something better happens. Who knows? So, that's it.
All right, Caesar, take.
We'll end with this.
You've got a lot of history in this building, some good, some bad. Do you like coming here or do you hate it?
I like the palm trees in the sunshine, but I fucking hate these guys.
Wow. Or no. Yeah. You've got a lot of history in this building, some good, some bad. Do you like coming here or do you hate it?
I like the palm trees in the sunshine, but I fucking hate these guys.
Wow.
That was great.
You got the other one?
My favorite is this the sideline footage just goes like, oh wow.
A lot of F-bombs dropped this week in the NHL, and then the other one there, Caesar.
It's kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
I got
he
the
was,
other one.
He was tearing up during his tribute. But
It was that was really cool to see him like just you could tell that South Florida really meant a lot to him. And I can honestly tell you, I was at the arena. I've never heard a standing ovation for a player coming back to South Florida as I did with Lomberg, and rightfully so. He was a true fan favorite, won a class of an act. Hopefully he does come back again. One day, eventually.
Another Calgary Panther.
Yeah. So
They
we
just
got
like
another
coming to
video
visit you,
here.
Kirby.
So we got another
Follow me.
video here. This is what happened last week, right? Or this week?
Rob Ray commentating in between the benches gets a unfortunate gift delivered right to him.
Can we blow that up?
And it's Florida. In the opening
I think
period.
we
And
know.
Razor just took
come
another
on.
one. And that was a rocket.
Yeah, I got
Off
a
the
couple
eye
there in
first?
the eyebrow, a couple little stitches,
All
but
right, so where did it hit first? Or is that all in one
right where
motion?
the golf ball is, right
All right.
here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not normal. That's not normal. So
Puck is dropped and it's Florida.
And
In the opening period.
Crazy.
And I just want to point out, for those who don't know who Rob Ray is, he's one of the toughest SOBs in the history of hockey. Please look up the YouTube video of a fan coming
It's
down
hilarious.
and him just
He decked him.
Like he was
Yeah.
decking him like about good
Filled him
8-9
20
times.
times.
Three things. One, Ray used to take his jersey off all the time during fights. He's the reason why they have a rule that you can't do that.
I think
So he used to just rip his jersey off as he dropped his gloves.
I'm
whenever
kind
he
of
fought.
surprised it doesn't happen as often
And-
as you would think, right?
and-
Because
and-
the thing is, because it's easier to get a foothold on the jersey. It's kind of
Yeah,
harder if
and-
it's like you're just grabbing onto a guy's bare
and he's
chest.
also and he's
So-
he's the reason why there's
so-
a fight strap on the back of the jersey.
Yeah, exactly.
now.
That way you can't take it off
Like
that
there's
easily.
there's a fastener on the back of the jersey, and a matter of fact,
Do
if
I
you
have
don't,
a jersey with a
That's
fight
Rob
strap
Ray,
here?
not Bob Probert.
I don't even
No,
know.
this is Rob Ray. This is Rob Ray. I do have a jersey with a fight strap, but it's hung up. So.
But for instance, if you do not have your jersey tied down in the back, it is a penalty.
Yeah,
Chris Versteeg got called for that a couple years ago when he was in Calgary.
equipment violation, technically. Yeah. The other thing is, I forgot which team did this, but there was one team that put like a roll of bubble wrap between the benches and said like So you don't get
Carolina.
hit
That
again.
was
Carolina
Carolina.
did it, yeah. And then there was another game where they sent him up to the highest 300
yeah.
row. It might have just to have. So he's like,
It
yeah,
might
so I
have
won't
been
get
in
hit with the
Buffalo.
puck up here, which
It
I
might-
thought was the funniest thing ever.
But
And there's a different video right after that of Lindy Ruff going and checking on Razor and making sure he's okay. And I did look this up out of curiosity. When Razor was playing in Buffalo, Lindy Ruff was actually his coach, like right near the tail end of his career in Buffalo. Ruff was starting out as the head coach in Buffalo for the first time. I think it was like 97, 98. But so Ruff actually goes and checks on Razor. And Razor, who now used to play for the guy who's coaching Buffalo, is commentating for Buffalo.
like,
So,
Wow.
yeah. Hockey's a small world, believe it or not. Everybody kind of knows everybody.
and I mean, it's a
We're
boys'
trying to
club.
add those funny clips in at the end of it.
But
We're doing a job of it here.
Well,
I mean, it's a
well,
funny story about Razor. You know, it's
well,
he
what-
gets a big roll of bubble wrap. Here you go, Razor.
But
Just,
what
you
a
know.
but what a crazy day. Panthers win 3-0 over Calgary. Seth Jones becomes a Florida Panther. John Cena turns heel tonight. I don't know what else is
Well, you
left.
put some wrestling in there. I'm exhausted. I did the
Kirby
post-game show.
Kirby still misses
That's
Paul
Jones.
Bearer.
Speaking of wrestling, I've been wanting to do this all the time.
I grew up on the mean streets of Cal.
And you know what I would say to that trade?
Wow, 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 wow.
And
That's
with
it.
that, we're going to end it here. Thanks a lot, guys. We really enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and we'll see you next week.
What's up, Cats and Rats fans? If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button before you head out. If you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. And just like always, let's go Cats.